Welcome to Mom and Dad Talks, everybody. We're running a little bit late today, but God is still good. All right. So today we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about promises and why they're important. Okay. Uh, Yet your yays be yays, your nays be nays, right? But what I was brought up with is that what a man is not judged by what he says; he's judged by what he does, right? So if I come through for you, if I say I'm going to come at 11 o'clock, come at 11. If I say come at this time, do this stuff. If I say I'm going to promise to get this thing done, promise to do everything you can to get it done. Deliver what you say. And unfortunately, we live in a society today where they just make excuses as to why, basically stuff is not done, right? Can you promise me stuff to get done? So, one of the things that we talk about why promises are important. And Mom and Dad today, we're talking about, why did you teach me and raise me this way of keeping promises?
Because promises are directly related to your integrity. A man that can keep his promise is a man of great integrity. When you break your promises, then your integrity goes down slowly at a time, and eventually people will not believe in you anymore. Uh, Integrity means a lot because I know in CAS, whenever you shake a person's hand on an agreement, that's as good as a written promise, a handshake. And that's the way it's always been. In small towns, when you shake a man's hand with a proposition or whatever, that is a promise that you will do such and such. Mm-hmm. So integrity means a lot, especially when you get older. Now, I notice in this younger generation, integrity is kind of shaky. I mean, the stuff that I see on TV and the programs that I see is, portraying our Black women as being very violent and difficult. That's horrible. But integrity to me means a lot. Our Black women are meant to love and respect.
And I was taught to respect people, right? As being a Black man. And there's a lot of people out there that do respect, and I think a lot of times media and social media, they want to show the ugly side of both sides of whatever issues are. But the main thing I have a problem with is like I said, the promises, right? When you promise to love your wife forever, it's a promise you made before God, right? You got to stand with that, right? Even if it is in sickness and health till death do us part. Mom, what do you think about promises?
I think promises are important to give us a surety in life. When I think about promises, I think about being trustworthy. If I break a promise, then I can't be trusted. So if I promise to do something for someone, I cannot go back on my word and say, I changed my mind. I know I promised you this, but I will say this. If you're not going to follow through with what you say you're promised to do, then it's better not to make any promises at all.
Let's talk about that. Because a lot of times people want to tell you what you want to hear, knowing that they had no intention on doing what they were say they're going to do for you. Knowing that, and then they want to kind of say, just to make you feel good, like, I didn't tell them no, but I knew I wasn't going to do it for you. And that's a wrong mentality to have. Yeah, it's a very uncomfortable position to tell someone no. And I've noticed with this generation, they don't want to tell you no. They'll just either avoid you or they just won't follow through. And they think that that's okay. That's bad communication, right? And I think that a lot of this has to do with bad communication now, where everybody wants to be liked. Social media, like. Even if they're living a lie, they want to be liked. That's why you look at all these people taking drugs and all this other stuff and killing themselves and stuff. A lot of it is because they're not accepted for who they are, and with, like you say, we're judged by what we do, right?
Right.
And so when you tell someone you're going to do something, just do it. you tell someone that you're not going to do something, or if something's not working out, I'm going to call you up and have integrity enough to have that difficult conversation and say, well, this is why it's not able to get done here. Now, you may not like it, but we have to have this uncomfortable conversation so we can move forward.
Right. And another word is respect.
Mm-hmm.
When you make a promise, be respectful of the person that you make the promise to.
Mm-hmm.
When I was growing up, anybody that was older than myself, that I considered an adult, I would always have to address them as Mr. and Mrs. Never call them by their first name. And I see that that has kind of gone by the side.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a lot of kids and
Mm-hmm.
teenagers calling their mother and father by their first name, calling their aunts and uncles by their first names,
Mm-hmm.
even though there may be only a few years difference.
Mm-hmm.
At least give the person respect of calling them Mr. Smith
Mm-hmm.
or Mrs. Jones. That's just my observation.
And that's the way I was raised, folks, to call you Mr. and Mrs., especially your elders, out of respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, a lot of people say, just call me by my first name. It was very hard for me when I got in the workplace to call people about my dad's age by their first name. Like, I just have a hard time with it. No. That's just not the way I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of respect. And I think that, that's part of it there is promises. You don't respect the person to do it. So you just feel like I don't have to do it. So you'll say yes and not follow through. So, I think that's a very important thing today is just trying to keep your promises. This is not a difficult thing, but it's a difficult age that we're living in because people just don't keep their promises.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They say one thing and do another thing, and then they come back and say the situation. I mean, I was taught, correct me if I'm wrong, Mom and Dad, that if the situation changed where my mind changed on something, I need to come back to that person and let them know why it changed before it gets out from anybody else.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So if circumstances do change, folks,
right,
before anybody else delivers the message, you deliver that message to the person you promised to and explain to them why, so they don't have to hear from somebody else. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yeah, it's going to be kind of whatever. But at the end of the day, you built a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Not an adversarial thing, because then they can't trust you anymore. And then that thing starts going downhill because now you want other people to make excuses for you rather than the person you promised it to. So, I would go to my mom. You always told me, go talk to your mom. Don't come to Dad to help talk for you. Go talk to your mom. I understand you didn't, bring the milk today. Tell Mom why you didn't. Mom, I didn't bring the milk because, at basketball practice, it went long. When I went to the store, this is at the age when the stores closed at 9. Basketball practice went late. Didn't get the milk back. Sorry, Mom, I messed my promise up. I'll get it for you first thing in the morning. It's the first thing I'm going to do. And then make it the first thing you do. And what the Bible even teaches, that when you do somebody wrong like that, get them 2 milks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Go overboard. Then you gain a brother. The problem is we do barely enough to even do that these days. So you still create and God does that to show how much sorrowful you really are. So that's kind of the concept of promises there. You got anything here? Because this is a real short one today, but any other thoughts here?
And the most important promise that I have made in my lifetime is my wedding vow. That's a promise to love, honor, and cherish in sickness and in health my wife. That is a promise that I intended to keep for the rest of my life.
Mm.
Now, I cannot speak for your mother, but that's my promise.
Mom, what do you have to say before we...
The only problem I have in a promise is in sickness. My promise is to stay as healthy as I can without having to have somebody keep the promise to be with me in health.
Wait, you tell me, Mom, your promises are conditional? I thought promises weren't conditional. You say my promise is conditional as long as he's healthy. Like what? But it says sickness and in health.
That's right.
I just said.
I got you, Mom. What you said is this, Mom. I'm not twisting your word. What she's really saying, folks, is this. I'm going to make sure my husband is healthy. I'm going to make sure I do everything to make sure he's healthy so we don't have that sickness problem.
And not only him, but me.
Yes. So let me explain something to you about my family here before we close out. My mom makes sure my dad and I eat healthy when I lived at home. Coleslaw was part of the menu. All, they don't teach this anymore in school for some reason.
Even greens.
Yeah, even greens. Put vegetable salad. make sure you eat your salad and drop it on our plates. Don't be leaving nothing up there. And I'll never forget that. And I'll be like, oh, I'm eating salad, stuff I don't like. But I'm glad she did that because I'm healthier, I'm wiser, and I'm better. And Mom, thank you for that. And thank you for being the bad guys those nights that we made you look like the bad guy. Because I know it was hard nights. I know it was hard nights, but you did it for our best healing. So let me tell you, parents, don't be settling for this bad food for your kids. Let them eat healthy. And we're going to have a mom and dad talks about that, about having the right meals, the right portions, and why it's important. Okay? I'm not going to get all into that today because we're not talking about that today. But I want to say thank you, Mom, for keeping that promise and making sure Dad and I ate healthy. Yes, you got the looks. Yes, you got the little attitudes at night. And yes, it was hard, but it paid off.
Amen.
Dad, are you sick?
Nope.
Mom, are you sick?
No, and I don't plan to be sick.
I'm not sick either, thanks to God, number one, and thanks to the fact that my mom did the right diet that's found in the Bible and gave it to us to eat every day. And it's more than that. It's about exercising too. I just couldn't sit around the house. Had to go out and do stuff, either play or work, but you have to be active.
Mow the lawn.
That was one of my major activities. Hey, mow the lawn tomorrow. So whatever I was doing, the lawn had to be mowed that day. Because if I don't ever miss a day that you guys told me to mow the lawn.
We didn't.
That ever miss a day? When you guys told me to mow the lawn?
Kept your promise.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Whenever you told me to mow the lawn, it was just done.
No, we kept the promise for you.
No, you just told me. Hey, grass look a little long. Better mow the lawn tomorrow. It was done. By the way, folks, I'm allergic to grass, if you want to know. So I'm sitting there going, but that lawn would get mowed. And my parents, they have a big yard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what you see today was not the whole entire. I mean, they had a real huge yard. It was a corner lot. So I had to mow a lot of lawn. But I don't ever remember not telling you guys no, or I couldn't do it.
You couldn't say no anyhow.
Even when I graduated from college.
Say that.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to mow the lawn the right way.
Yeah. Yes, I could not mow it any other way, folks. I had to mow it the right way on top of that. So you got to keep your promise, do it the right way. And guess what? You never have to mow it again the wrong way or go back over it. And that's what I liked about it. Mowed it once. That's it. Was it measure twice, cut once?
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the concept in life, folks. Measure twice, cut once. So that's a great talk today. Mom and Dad, you have any other talks here? Anything you want to say before we cut up?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on Mom and Dad Talks. Hope you enjoyed today. Next week's going to be a fun one. All right. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.